I did it again. I kept my mic muted. Okay, here we go. It's Mick Manhattan from the Scene Snobs, and I am doing my full Moon Knight series review. If you're in the comments, please feel free to join in and talk about it. But otherwise, I'm just going to kind of do an overview of the series as a whole. I'm also doing a written review for cinemareviewed.com. You can go check it out there later today. It will be out. It's been a little bit of an in-depth thing. I am enjoying doing it, though. And I got to tell you, I watched the 6th episode yesterday as it came out. And I'll get into my feelings on the 6th episode when we get there. And talk about the series as a whole and things like that. I'm not going to go about episode by episode, but I am going to touch down on a few things. But I watched the 6th episode, and after I watched it, I was like, I feel like I need to rewatch all 6 episodes just to kind of get myself acclimated to like how I feel about it and things like that. So, I rewatched all 6 episodes, and I have to tell you, right out of the gate, this series was an exciting one. Now, with everything that I know about Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness, which is this year's first big Marvel movie, and everything I know now about Moon Knight, which was this year's big Marvel television show, first big Marvel television show, I really like what they're doing. Whereas last year, everything seemed connected in some way. It seemed like the shows and the movies and everything all together was connected throughout and pushing each other. And I felt like it got so connected. Fans like myself, especially, because I know I'm guilty of doing it, has speculated so hard on what could be or what we might want to see or where this could go or who will show up or this, that, and the other thing, especially after No Way Home, that I think Marvel is sort of tempering our expectations. They're saying, in their own minds, they're probably saying, like, we're going to give them what they want, but we're not going to give them exactly what they want. And I don't want to get any more into Doctor Strange. I'm going to see that fully today, but I do have rundowns, and I've been kind of going through with some review guys about what was a part of that, and I will do a full review on that later. This is Moon Knight. So I know my speculation for Moon Knight was big time was, is Werewolf by Night going to show up? Is Arthur Harrow Dracula? What's the connection here to maybe Blade or the other Midnight Suns, things like that. And the thing that I really enjoyed, and again, this is going to have some spoilers in it, so if you haven't watched the series yet, go watch the series, come back, give a like for us, and then come back and check us out. And also hit subscribe if you like the channel. We have lots of fun content I think you really enjoy. For me, this was a contained show. It's not like a Loki where it's affecting everything going on, or a WandaVision, it's connected and it's coming out, and or What If or things like that, and like you're going to see it show up in Multiverse of Madness. This is a series that's 6 parts. It doesn't have to go any further, but we hope it does. We at least hope we see this character go further in some way, in some form or capacity. So Oscar Isaac, I will say right off the bat, killed it with this. Oscar Isaac was fantastic. The man is playing 2 very different people throughout this series. Possibly 3. We'll get there, but 2 very different people throughout the series in the 6 episodes. And also we get Ethan Hawke, who's playing this very dastardly bad guy who truly believes what he's doing is right and just, and he needs to see this through. And I like that because it's very much a Thanos type of villain, which I enjoyed. And I love the conviction that they have for the villains in the Marvel properties. So I thought that was on a smaller scale, which is ironic because he's dealing with a god and gods around him. In a smaller scale, I felt that, and I really appreciated that. It is very similar to Thanos. Thanos wanted to bring a balance. He wanted to bring half of the population of the universe gone, as we know, whereas Harrow just wants evil people gone, even before they commit their evil acts. It's a hard thing, hard sort of thing to think about, and what they're going with. F. Mary Abraham as Khonshu was fantastic. May Calumet who played Layla in the show, was great. I really enjoyed her, and because there were points where she picked up as the main protagonist when Mark was out of commission or Steven wasn't there, or even if Steven was there and she had to be the heroic one, it really matched well and worked together well. I like their dynamic. Their dynamic for the first few episodes or first 4 episodes, I would say. Actually, let me scratch that. Take the first episode out, because the first episode is completely different from when she shows up in episode 2, 3, and 4. Is very, almost feels like a natural, our national treasure type of vibe, where they're on this sort of hunt to go and do something. They have this goal, and it's a very adventurous one. So I really like that dynamic and how they played it, how she played against not just Mark, but also Steven, and going in between, because they're two very different people. Don't mind my dog. My dog is kind of running around right now. She might be in very soon. So, if you see her, she's fantastic. So, so I love that dynamic of those two characters and how it all kind of played off of each other and what was going on there. So that the characters in this were really well done. And it felt like there was an overabundance of characters throughout, because Steven's playing 2 separate characters, but they felt so different. They felt like each like their own, actor playing the role. That's how great Oscar Isaac is. And then you have Khonshu, then you have Arthur Harrow, then you have Layla. So really, it's a smaller, contained cast of characters, but really well put together, and they carry this so well. I mean, we have a lot of outside elements, characters coming in that work for Harrow, or work in other aspects, but it's very well done. Each episode feels very different. And to go real quick by each episode, I love that they started with Steven in the first episode. This is our charismatic character. This is the person that we can most identify with in this situation. It's hard to identify a superhero type of Mark, and the heroic, and the being able to handle any situation. We get Steven, who is more along the lines of us, and he has to deal with these supernatural elements he never knew existed, and that he has somebody in his head. And throughout that, and the adventurous nature that goes through, it seems very troubling and dangerous. And I love that aspect of the first episode. And I love how it kind of, goes on. And then we do get to follow Mark, and we do get to know Mark better. And then we, all of that, the first 4 episodes, completely culminating into what the 5th episode was, which was Asylum, where we get to finally see where Steven comes from. The possibility of Jake Lockley showing up, what Mark is going through, both emotionally, mentally, the whole 9. He's running the gamut. It's a hard thing. And I loved that aspect of it, because it really touches down on mental health. It really touches down on all aspects and areas. It really touches down on unhealthy coping mechanisms, abuse, things like that. That the themes for that are really hardcore. But while you're doing that, you're getting this asylum episode where he thinks, okay, I'm crazy. I'm in this asylum. And Arthur Harrow's there, and now he's playing a doctor that's supposedly on his side. And then, but you also get the afterlife. Between 3 and 4, you get all of this. Of course, when you get to that part where you finally realize about Mark's past and why he had to create Steven to help him cope with what was going on in his life, this really tough, seemingly tough man who is capable of very many things, and how hard his life was, and that he had to create Steven at a later age, almost. Like, I mean, you really bring him into the fold. Then that's where we get back to the first episode, where Steven is in control. It has to be. Mark had to give up complete control to be able to cope and to be able to just run from his problems. It's hard. It's hard to watch. And then you get to that final episode, which, I'm following through. I will say this. The first episode had me. I really enjoyed Steven's character, but it seems so jumpy and cutty. The second episode was good. And you got Moon Knight in full effect. You got Mr. Knight showing up. It was really interesting dynamic with that. You got Layla, you got Arthur, more backstory from them and who they were. But it's still it didn't land perfectly for me. But then the third episode, I thought it was a lot more well done. Leading into the fourth episode, where you get more of the supernatural element to it with the mummies and things like that. So I liked those two. Then you get into the fifth episode, where it really comes into play with the afterlife stuff like that. It blew me away. I thought the fifth episode is probably, in my opinion, the best episode of the season. So well done, so well acted. The characters, you really get to know them, who they are, their backstories, what they want, what their motivations are. It was beautifully played. The afterlife was beautifully played, and I just really enjoyed this episode. I've watched it a few times now, and I'm happy I did, because I liked it a lot. The sixth episode was my least favorite throughout the series. It started off well. It wasn't that bad. I didn't mind it as much. I kind of knew like the points that they had to hit and where they needed to go, so I got it. But overall, I felt like it had a good lead up, and then the last 15 minutes just felt very short. It's very rushed. I do think that Marvel has an issue with that. With rushing things and kind of their endings and trying to get where they want to go, especially when they're saying that this is a contained series. I don't think it's going to be. I think there will probably be more. I think they're going back on that now. It's got that feeling. So for me, you have somebody like, Oscar Isaac jumping into the role. Like, you're not going to get rid of him. I mean, it's a great actor. It's not going to be 6 episodes and he's done. You have to see more of it. But that 6th episode was easily not one of my favorites. And I know the end credit scene, which I thought was great, and I thought it was a great part of it, didn't save it for me. I know a lot of people are saying it saved it for him because it leaves it open, but I didn't need that. I needed more from it. I needed something. I didn't need it to just be open-ended the way it was. And then that happened, which was, of course, we get Arthur Harrow, who is now the full avatar for Ammit, and he's suffering within a mental hospital, and they take him out, and Khonshu is in the limousine, and Jake Lockley kills him. So we finally got to see Jake Lockley, the personality, come out. We know he's the killer. I thought the transition was really good where they were fighting. Layla's character as the superhero, when she took over as the avatar for that god's name kind of escapes me at the moment, but I thought she was great. Her fighting style was awesome. I loved the blades, the bladed wings, everything about her I thought was really good, and I thought the whole fight was really well done. I even liked the kaiju fight of gods in the corner. That was awesome. Like, I even like the look of it where it's kind of faded, but they're there. And I'm okay with the fact that this doesn't really open us up to anything else. It's not connected to Thor. It's not connected to Multiverse of Madness. We don't know what it's going to be connected to down the line. But it did give us the idea of gods and how big they can be and how that fight works and where it goes from there. Leading into Thor, it didn't have to be a direct connection, but it gave us an idea of gods, which we know is going to be a big theme in Thor. But it was just, and I did kind of dig the idea of like he wakes up in the middle of the fight and everybody's dead, and it wasn't him or Steven who did it. Obviously, it's Jake Lockley the whole time has been the most violent of them and the killer. But it felt cheap a little bit to me. It felt like a cheap ending that after all of this build up, I don't think we needed that. So overall, like now this season that has been really well done and being built well, kind of slow starts here, slow stops there along the way. But I thought it almost grinded to a halt with that ending. And it really hurt us because the first half of the show is not bad, but it's nothing to write home about. It's not like great either. So if you have a really bad last like 15 minutes or so, you really want to save it with a mid-credit scene just because you're introducing a character we were hoping to see? Great. I'm glad we got to see him, but I would have liked to have seen more of a resolution for Mark and Steven. Where's Layla? What happened to her? Where do we go from here? How does Arthur end up in a mental hospital? What happens with this? Where did it go? There was nothing. It just kind of like puttered out. And I was like, but we have this new character that, you've never seen before, but you knew was coming. I wasn't interested. So it took me out of it. So I hope for a second season. I think it could be, at least it's established now. And we can maybe get a bit of a better second season kind of running. But I hope this is also isn't the end of Oscar Isaac as Moon Knight. I'd really like to see him show up more in other places. And I think he could be a cool character, sort of like a Daredevil. But yeah, overall this season was well done. But out of all of the shows, I'd probably give it a 3.5 out of 5. Just for the storyline all the way through. Visually looks perfect. Characters were great. Acting was great. And it was cool to see Moon Knight in action. But yeah, I just don't think it holds up as much as other shows. It is more middle of the road for me when it comes to the shows. But yeah, what did you guys think? I'd love to hear it. Jovin's here. What's going on? Hey, buddy, my showtime today for A Multiverse of Madness is at 3 p.m. Yours at 6 foot. Very cool. I want to hear what you guys think. Please reach out to me on social media. I would love to hear what you guys thought of the movie. I knew it was going to be down the drain when I saw it was going to be 44 minutes. That really meant 35 minutes. Yeah, I 100% agree with you. And it did. It was weird because I remember looking at it and I'm like, oh, I still have like 10 minutes left in this. And then it ended 2 minutes later. I was like, I have 10 minutes left in the show and it ends 2 minutes later. So essentially, like, there's 8 minutes of credits, and now I understand that in the credits, even that was only like a minute and a half. So it put a damper on it for me, and it bothered me a bit. But overall, I still want more, which is good. Guys. So please let me know what you think on social media. This is my review of the Moon Knight series. I'm also doing a written review, which will be a little more in depth, and I'll cover a little bit more there. So you can go check that out later when it comes out on cinemareviewed.com. Cinema Reviewed. That's with an ED at the end.com. I'm a writer for them now, and I'm this is going to be my first full review for them. But I have been doing news updates and stuff like that, so please go check them out. Also, just so you guys know, we are at 620 subscribers, and we are still having a contest. Once we get to the 700 mark, we'll pick one lucky winner to win this Marvel Lucha Libre Funko Pops. So make sure you guys are subscribing. If you're watching this, hit the like button. We truly appreciate it. Check out our show, the Scene Snobs Podcast. Scene Snobs Podcast is our show we do live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. We talk about fun, absurd things, and especially in the entertainment and geek worlds. Right now, because we're getting ready for Carolina Fear Fest, which we are official representatives of at the end of May. Go get your tickets. It's in Raleigh, North Carolina. If you're a horror fan, you'll love it. We are doing dissecting horror franchises for the rest of the month. We're going to have some special guests showing up along the way. We're doing a very special episode on May 13th, Friday the 13th. We're doing a special episode of the Scene Snobs Podcast. It's called State of the Con. Carolina Fear Fest. They're going to come in. We're going to talk about the con. We're going to dissect the Friday the 13th franchise. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to have a lot of guests. It's going to be a party time. Enjoy. It's going to be a 2-hour event. Starts 7 p.m. on May 13th. Eastern Standard Time. So join in for that. Like I said, with the Scene Snobs Podcast, that's live every Tuesday night at 9 p.m. You can check that out there. Or you can listen to us on any podcast platform, because right after the show, it goes up. Right after the live show, it goes up. I really look forward to you guys joining in, having a good time with us. Thank you very much for watching my review of Moon Knight series. I will be back tonight with my review of Doctor Strange in the Multiverse of Madness. Please feel free to jump in with that too, because it will be live, and my buddy Casey will be joining me. But yeah, we'll talk about that and more. So again, thanks everybody for watching, and I will talk to you guys soon. Take care. Thanks for watching and listening, everybody. I'm the Scene Snob, Mick Manhattan. You can check out the Scene Snobs Podcast live every Tuesday at 9 p.m. Eastern on our YouTube channel, or all podcast platforms afterwards. Also on our YouTube channel, you can check out great shows like Real Combat, the ultimate debate show for movie lovers, mixed movie picks with new recommendations every week, Geek Fest Live every Sunday night, and new movie reviews and news all the time. Like and subscribe, then hit the notification bell so you know when all of our new episodes drop. Thank you so much to all of our amazing Patreon supporters, with whom this would not be possible. They help keep the lights on and support us in such big ways. If you would like to become a supporter on our Patreon and take advantage of all the perks like monthly giveaways, early access, and so much more, head on over to the Scene Snobs Patreon page and just sign up on one of our 2 tiers. Join our awesome community of geeks, movie lovers, and so much more, and join up on our Discord. The Scene Snobs Discord is now live, and you can head over to thescenesnobs.com for links to there and more. The Scene Snobs merch store is now open with original and fun designs that are available on all different types of merch and apparel. Check out thescenesnobsmerch.com. Make sure you like, follow, and subscribe to all of our social media accounts like TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and so many more. We have fun updates, topics, we talk about collectibles, and so much more on there. It's a great time. You can find all of our links to everything on thescenesnobs.com or on our Linktree, which are down in the descriptions below. Thanks again, everyone. Stay tuned and stay geeky.